fantastic player that has proven himself on the international stage with Iran's national team. His ability to play inside and out, rebound, and make plays for his teammates is going to help the SUU program, Coach Simon says. Last month, he was clearly one of the best at the Under-19 World Cup, where he averaged 15 points, 8.3 rebounds per ball game. That's sports.
Look who's here.
Good morning, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, it is. It's Wired Wednesday.
It is Wired Wednesday. I'm McKenna Hansen with Farm Bureau Financial Services. Let's get wired. Let's tap into this community. Let's figure out where we need to make the connections. Today in studio we have Scott Stubbs with Utah Farm Bureau Federation, Iron County. He is the county president this year, and he is doing a fantastic job, if I do say so myself. We hold monthly meetings on the second Thursday of every month over at the Marriott, Spring Hill Marriott on the south end of town, just off the south exit in Cedar City, Utah. With all of the different things and changes in community, some things that have been going on this last couple of weeks, we are very grateful for the moisture. Are we not, Scott?
Yes, it's been really nice. My heart goes out to those though that have had damage from it, and it's terrible. I sat Sunday afternoon on the freeway watching the rivers run towards Enoch, and I knew it was going to be bad. So you people are in my prayers.
Yes, and my heart goes out to everybody experiencing that. If you do in the future decide that you do need flood insurance, it is a product that I can offer, and you can contact me.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Can anybody get flood insurance?
Basically, yes. In a very broad scape of that, yes.
But because when we first moved into our house, we were required to have flood insurance, which was fine because we lived at that time we lived in what was designated as a floodplain.
Yes.
Sometime in the last 30 years that we've been here, that designation has changed, and we got a notice saying you don't have to have flood insurance.
So what's happened is in Iron County specifically, and there's a lot of more big chief than I on this, conversation, and I've had a conversation with a few community members of why do they let subdivisions go up where they do? Why do they let building permits go out where they are? That kind of stuff. On ironcounty.net, you can go into their, I think it's government and departments and information technology, and you can view the different maps of where the floodplains are. The one is it links back to, Iron County Maps ArcGIS, ArcGIS, but it is the FEMA map that it shows where all of the floodplains are. Mm-hmm. And with all the development that we've had, they've redirected some of our natural waterway systems. And because we've had, 400-year floods in the last 10 years, the climate might be changing, and a lot of the runoff that was absorbed by the dirt is no longer because of all of the development. So I highly encourage people to do some research on either buying their home or selling their home or where they're at to figure that out. If not, they can come into my office. I'm located just off of 400 North over by Mountain America, and I'm willing to just walk you through the map and give you some educational pieces, because to me that's the strongest thing out there is knowledge. And if you educate yourself on where you're at, how to do it, and what to do it, and you're constantly experiencing flooding, or you've experienced a couple of floods and you want a little bit of reprieve from that, I feel really bad for some of these homes that are almost total losses, because I've heard, and through the Facebook and social media, I've seen videos of water lapping up in a basement of like an 8 or 9 foot basement lapping up, which means all of the sheetrock in that entire basement has to come down. Right. And if it doesn't dry out in a timely manner, then all of the studs and then the floor joists, because you think of the sheetrock at the ceiling, the floor joists above that, if they don't dry out appropriately, then those would also have to be ripped out, or repaired in some kind of manner. And with the interestingness in the business and the building cycle of business right now, we're at a super high volume right now.
And expense. Too.
And expense. And so figuring out where this can be mitigated, is why insurance exists. So, if anything, get educated about where you're living so you can properly prepare for that. So if you were required to have flood insurance when you bought the house, more than likely the floodplain has not changed, because floodplains were mapped out in 1975, and they have not updated those maps because the watershed still exists at some point
Right.
through all of that. So again, the best resource that I can send people to for if they live in a floodplain or not is ironcounty.net, and go into their map system and look where the floodplains are, or at least the drainage, and be aware of that. If you have further questions, you can either go to the county, and ask questions there. You can also come to my office, and I'm willing to just sit down and talk to people about their options. Yes, insurance is you prepare for it. It's not a reactive thing. But we can make a game plan. Maybe in 6 months we write a flood insurance policy for you for that next time that happens.
And the reality is, and I'm not knocking your industry per se, but the reality is people that think that I've got homeowners insurance, that's probably not going to cover you.
It's a very different insurance.
It's a very different type of thing.
So, and flood insurance, specifically like FEMA flood insurance, is for natural watershed that has come into your structure. Now, homeowners insurance, like what I sell,
Like if you have a busted pipe, then homeowners.
a busted pipe, and then it's even more specific to different companies.
Right.
Because our company, I know, is property lines in. So if I have a sprinkler on the north side of my property, and I have a north to south drainage, and it drains into my basement and it causes damage, the damage is theoretically covered, right? It's property lines. However, other companies are from structure in. So like even if I have a hose bib, a spigot that is off of my house,
Yeah.
and it drains into my basement, that coverage there would not be any coverage for that because it's considered outside of the home.
Sure, okay.
So it's a very different, but we can have those kinds of conversations. I'm not a claims adjuster. I'm not an underwriter, and I can speak in very general terms here, but there's kind of differences there. So our hearts go out to those that are experiencing loss. If there's anything we can do, please let us know. Speaking of giving back to the community and things, with the Federation, we have a program that we started during the pandemic called Farmers Feeding Utah, and Iron County has been involved in a great capacity in providing livestock to these different programs for different places of Feeding Utah, and being able to give these animals and meat away and produce, because it's really helped a lot of families. How many families have we helped so far, Scott?
I can't even say. They've had several events, but you're talking more about the Miracle of Ag project.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
And which are great things, and there's been a lot of donation, and it's helped thousands and thousands of families here in Utah. It's been a great program, and it's helped the farmer too, because the farmer didn't totally donate everything. I mean, a lot of it was bought from the farmer by donations from outside, which so it helped the farmer, and it helped those that were struggling during the pandemic. We've done some projects around here. We're going to do one here in Cedar City, October 30th,
Okay.
in conjunction with the Heritage Festival. But I've been talking about Farmers Feeding Utah, which is a business arm of the Farm Bureau, and we're finally up and running. And so now
This is exciting.
we are offering food boxes once a month for $99. You subscribe, and it's shipped right to your doorstep.
What would this box include?
Okay, so let's look right here. The box, the July box. I've got all this stuff here somewhere.
You're fine.
July's box contained 2 8-ounce bags of cheese curd, different flavors,
Okay.
2 12 to 14 ounce beef ribeye steaks, 1 4+ ounce of peppered beef jerky, 2 ounces of gourmet taffy, 2 1.5 pound jars of salsa, different flavors,
Okay.
1 pound of premium grass-fed beef, 5 ounces bag of dried cherries, and an 8-ounce container of mushrooms. All of these products came from Utah.
I was gonna say that sounds like a list of going up and down the I-15.
And though maybe not, like the salsa comes from a Utah company, Farmers Feeding Utah does not actually process the salsa, but we buy it from a company here in Utah, add to it, and so that box would be delivered on your doorstep and they've done. I mean, we as presidents were used as guinea pigs to see how much ice it was going to take to make it work. So they've got the shipping all figured out and everything, and that will arrive on your doorstep. You know,
And that $99 includes shipping and handling.
Yep,
all
yep,
of that
that's
something.
setting on your doorstep.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
The August box will include Utah beef, green beans, milk, cheese, honey, sea salt, caramel, chocolate treat. Anyway, I think that you'll really like it. But after you've took one of these, purchased one of these, you will be able to go back online, and if you like, say, the ribeyes or something, you will be able to order just the ribeyes. As time goes on, our products will grow and grow
Right.
because each box will introduce more things.
Right.
And-
That is exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool because, like I say, that'll be all Utah. It'll help Utah farmers. It'll also, there'll be a portion go to the Miracle Project to help in that. And anyway, we're really excited about it. And if you're going to order, you need to order by about the 15th. This month it's the 16th of August to get the August box.
Okay.
And
Where do we go to order?
so you go to box.farmersfeedingutah.com.
Well, that's pretty simple. box.farmersfeedingutah.com.
And I actually did this. I usually have to have my wife do anything that involves any brains at all, and so it's pretty simple because I was able to order my own our box.
That is awesome. I
Fair.
love that.
And it's really encouraging that we're finding different ways, as we've talked many times before, Dr. T, that Utah can be self-sustaining. Let's figure out how. And I feel like this is the first step to many, but this is one of the first steps to figuring out what the demand is out there for people to support local and get that local cycle going rather than that nationwide cycle. I know people are looking into options for cut houses, and different things, or expanding feedlots. I mean, a lot of our, not worthless desert, but a lot of our desert land could be used as feedlot if we could get the feed back here.
And when you say that, that's another thing that Farmers Feeding Utah offers. If you have an animal that needs to be processed, or if you want to send your animals up there and process them and sell them individually, you contact, probably me would be the best one, and I will help you get your animals slaughtered, and they'll cut them for you and package them. We got state-of-the-art equipment to package all of this.
So the
and-
cat house did get open, and we had.
Yes, we are cutting.
Fantastic.
Yep. Yep.
Last I heard, we were almost there. Like we were
We-
like
we are
90% then. I didn't know.
The meat in this package will come from there. So.
That is incredible, and it's incredible to see what our community has done, especially with the partnership between Utah Farm Bureau Federation, Farm Bureau Financial Services, the Miracle Project, Farmers Feeding Utah. All of these things happened, at the start of the start of 2020's interestingness, and it's incredible to see 18 months later what that has really done, because not even 18 months. In less than 18 months, we've been able to feed thousands of people. We've been able to host and, donate food back to these communities while supporting the local producers. It's not just, these quote unquote free programs or these different programs that the national government has really put out there. We're really creating a sustainable wheel here.
Yeah, this is a lot of the time. Tim asks, "Could we sustain ourselves here in Iron County?" We're getting closer. We're at least in Utah. We're getting a lot closer that we can take care of ourselves.
And I really like to think of all the different produce that we grow. You'd have a hard time finding something we don't grow here in Utah. Is that true?
Pineapples.
Well, pineapples,
Well,
yeah.
and coffee
For the-
and
So
things
pineapples,
like that.
coffee. What else do we?
Bananas.
Well, and I mean, besides the tropical things, because we just.
Oranges.
Well, why doesn't St. George start to grow oranges? Why don't we try to get St. George into this citrus stuff?
I think that this is my guess, but I think it probably freezes too often
Oh,
in St. George. That'd be my guess. I've been in California and seen ice hanging off the oranges and stuff, and that's pretty tough.
I miss the days of smudge pots.
What's a what?
Smudge pots.
What's a smudge pot?
Are you seriously?
Yeah, no idea.
Tell us.
Seriously? Well, oh, yeah, because that's where I grew up in California. Yeah, man.
Is that to
Okay.
keep the orchard warm?
Yeah.
They burn?
Yeah, they
Oh.
kind of produce smoke and stuff
You
to
smoke
keep
the oranges.
to keep the heat down.
Yeah.
Because like in the winter here, when it's cloudy, the heat
Yeah.
stays in.
Uh-huh.
So they like these smudge pots, and they were warm in and of themselves, but they produced kind of a layer of fog and smoke.
Well, yeah, they have that all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, no.
But I've seen the helicopters
I
out
have
there
no
trying to
idea.
stir the air over the oranges to keep them from freezing, and yeah, so
So then the kids just north of Nephi, the big orchard, what is it called?
up at the
Yeah, the
is it
dam.
called the Red Barn?
Yeah, the red barn. Those
Yeah.
kids, they have those windmills that I know they use to keep the frost off the blossoms.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, what else? What else is the Federation up to? What are we getting into? We're going into fall season. What do we need to be aware of?
We're still, and I hate to bring this up after we've just talked about the flooding, but we're still in a
Oh no,
pretty serious.
the drought's not gone away. We know that.
Pretty serious situation. Right here, we have had wonderful rain that's recovered our ranges to the point we're going to get through this season. I think the winter feed's going to be really good. But when you go up north a little bit, they've sold off their herds. I'm really concerned whether they'll ever be able to replace them.
Wow.
The farmers, that rely on reservoirs and springs and things like that, they're not farming very much. And I'm concerned for those farmers, obviously. But I'm concerned for our state and the economic impact that will not be there from farmers consume a lot of things.
Right.
And they turn a lot of money into the community and do a lot of good. And yes, those families might go broke, but what it will also, they buy insurance, they buy pickups, they
Groceries, trucks,
they consume.
everything,
And
yes.
so I'm really worried about this. So I hate to bring it up like this, but I think we need to keep praying that we'll be able to receive some moisture in the areas that need it.
Right.
And
Well, and I want to say somebody had to. They only had enough water for first cut, and I want to say it's Escalante, and they really only had the ability, the water systems to water for first cut, and then past that they have. I mean, they've gotten some of the monsoon. We've gotten the majority of it, but those small, like really, really small, like a whole 200 people big, they're gonna really struggle. And
Yeah.
So what can we do to help those communities? Do we travel to those communities and purchase items? Do we? Where do you think we can support the best?
The problem we have is they don't have that to even sell. I mean, a lot of it is livestock feed that they sell, and we've sold a lot of our livestock, and they don't have it to sell, and
Yeah.
that's part of the reason that a lot of producers have sold their animals is the hay prices are skyrocketing. And, and that poor guy that's only farming a third of his farm, he's hoping he's going to be able to make his payments. But anyway, it's a vicious cycle. So along with the flood victims and everything, I mean, keep that in your prayers. All of us that use water, and we need to be
Which,
thinking
by the
about
way,
water.
is all of us.
Yes.
All of us.
Well, and
Yeah.
all of us do. And really quickly, kind of the last little bit here, with all the different water that we've received in the last 30 days, there's people out there saying to go to Zeroscape or to, low maintenance lawns and things. Zeroscape is just as hard to maintain, if not more to maintain, because you are putting all the chemicals down to keep it weed free or going out there. It's easier to consciously water a lawn and be efficient with it than it is to go to Zeroscape completely.
The other day I heard the pest control and lawn care guys on, and they were talking about this, and I was real impressed that they're out trying to educate people to use less, because I love lawns.
Yeah.
I like green. I mean, that's been the only green thing is either a farm or a lawn around here this
Right,
summer.
right.
Until now. I mean, now the green kind of makes your heart swell, but I wished we would all be conscious and try and figure out the minimum our lawn needs to look good.
Right, agreed. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us on Wired Wednesday, keeping this community connected. We really appreciate the Federation's input and the Federation's support with the radio show and making sure that you guys get your voices heard. Reminder, we have a meeting next Thursday at the Spring Hill Marriott, South
7
Exit,
o'clock.
7 o'clock. This has been McKenna Hansen with Farm Bureau Financial Services.
You meant PM, I'm sure.
Yes, 7 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
at the Spring Hill Marriott, South Exit in Cedar City. If you have any questions, please give Scott a call at
435-590-1800.
Perfect. And for all your insurance needs, I'm McKenna Hansen with Farm Bureau Financial Services, 435-592-2021.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Dan, it was a pleasure. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. One.